What's up, internet? My name is Kyle, back with another episode about cameras, tech, and all that good stuff. Today is a video for beginners. I'm going to go over all of the camera modes on the Sony a6000. Hey everybody, welcome back, and thanks if you're new here. Today I wanted to do a video for beginners about all the different camera modes, kind of tell you a little bit about it, why maybe you would use it, and yeah. Now before we jump into that list of modes, I do have to thank Skillshare, who is today's video sponsor. As you guys know, I would never recommend a service or a product or anything unless I use it myself and I really like it. I like Skillshare a lot. There are over 7 million creators on Skillshare. It's an online learning platform that gives you different courses. And the best thing about Skillshare is that it's broken down into different sections on each video. So you don't have to sit through the parts you don't like. You can just click and go to the parts that you find valuable. I've been looking at a bunch of different courses. I will actually link a course for you guys for low light photography down in the description. Sign up with the link in my description. Get 2 months free of Skillshare. I mean, the service is pretty cheap as it is for what it is. And yeah, I'm super stoked that Skillshare has partnered up with me. So thanks to you guys for that. Okay, so let's talk about the camera modes. So number one, where I'm gonna start on the dial, is sweeping panoramic mode. So this mode is really cool. Basically, you hold down the shutter when you're in this mode and it's gonna click, click, click. When you're in sweeping panoramic mode, you'll see on the screen that it's gonna show you if you just move the top right dial, if you just click that, it's gonna switch the orientation or the direction of your panoramic photo. So you can either do a vertical one or you can do a horizontal one. So say you're at the Grand Canyon or you're at a stadium or you're at some river or something and you really want to capture the entire scene, sweeping panoramic mode would probably be a choice to get that whole entire scene in a different perspective. Okay, the next mode I'm going to talk about is scene selection. So this is pretty much like a pseudo auto. Basically, you pick a scene, whether it's like a landscape, macro, or sports, or there's a bunch of other scenes to select from. You tell the camera, I'm shooting this specific scene, kind of figure out the settings for me based off of the scene I'm telling you I'm in. So if you're trying to take a close-up picture of a flower, switch it to scene, choose the macro mode, and the camera will assist you in trying to capture that scene as best as it can. The next mode is intelligent auto, and it sounds just like it is. It's in fully automatic mode. You don't do anything to ISO or shutter speed or aperture. The camera does everything on automatically. The camera's image processor is going to try and take in the scene as best as it can and cater the settings to what it's looking at and take the best picture possible. Obviously, in an auto mode, you don't really have a say in changing a lot of things. So this is more of just, I'm looking at the scene, let me see what the camera can do, and hit the shutter button, and voila, you have a photo. The next mode is superior auto mode. So another automatic mode where you're not really changing anything at all. And it sounds just like it is. It's the better automatic mode, if that makes sense. I wouldn't rely on any of the automatic modes to take the perfect picture, but this mode does take more into account kind of motion and things like that. So yeah, again, I wouldn't recommend the automatic modes, but this one is a little bit more advanced than the one before. And next is P, which stands for program auto, and it really should stand for pass. Just pass this mode over. You don't need to use it. It's auto, like it's not a good auto. The other autos are better. Trust me, just pass. Okay, and the next mode on the dial is the A mode or aperture priority. Now this mode is awesome. This is the mode I use probably 95, maybe even a little bit more % of the time. Now the aperture number that you see on the screen is usually, 1.8 or 2.8 or 3.5 and so forth. That is the f stop or the f number. Basically, what that number determines is how wide your aperture blades on the lens are open. So if the number is low, the circle or the opening of the blades is very large. And if the number is high, say 8 or f11 or f16, the circle is going to be really small. So the opening on the lens is going to be really tiny. Now this mode lets you control the aperture or the f-stop with the dial on the top right-hand corner. Also, when aperture priority mode, you can control the aperture with the circle dial on the back of the camera. Everything else is automatic. You can, keep auto white balance, ISO can be set to auto, and shutter speed, you can't change at all, so that's on automatic. What this gives you freedom for is to determine the focus plane, or what's in focus and what's out of focus, with just a single setting change. Aperture priority basically lets you control the blurry background, or in other words, the bokeh of a shot. This mode is great if you're not maybe a professional and you don't want to go into a different mode like manual mode where you can control everything. Sometimes it can be a little overwhelming being a new camera owner and going into manual. People saying, oh, you have to shoot manual, you have to shoot manual. It's not true. You don't have to shoot manual to be a professional or to be even considered photographer. You can use any mode you want. Aperture priority just gives you that flexibility to control one thing and one thing only, and have everything else kind of taken care of a little bit. One of the great things about aperture priority mode is you can also override ISO. So you can either leave it on automatic, let the camera choose ISO, or you can choose the ISO if you so desire. So then you can control aperture and ISO and let shutter speed kind of do its thing. This is a very popular mode. I really recommend people kind of just getting into photography to maybe try and start an aperture priority or the next mode that we're going to talk about, because it does some things for you and some things you get creative control. I've also made a whole separate video on bokeh, and if you want to learn the bokeh basics, there's a video called Bokeh Basics, and I'll link it above. So the next mode is just like aperture priority, but for a different setting, shutter speed, and this is shutter priority. In this mode, aperture is automatic. Shutter speed, you can manually adjust to your heart's content. So the shutter speed is going to control the shutter inside the camera, covering the sensor, uncovering it, covering it, uncovering it. Now, when you have a faster shutter speed, you can freeze motion. There won't be motion blur, so a faster shutter speed may be used in sports photography. And then a slower shutter speed is going to show more motion blur. And you might be like, why do I want motion blur? Well, you might want motion blur in, like, say, a waterfall type picture, or maybe a light trail type picture. So those are examples of slow shutter speed being a desired setting. You can change ISO in shutter priority mode, but you cannot change aperture. The next mode is manual exposure, or everybody just calls it manual mode. Now, manual mode is obviously loved by photographers and professionals because you can control every setting in your camera. It's up to you, your creative freedom, your vision. You don't have to rely on the camera in any way, shape, or form, or you can have the camera take care of some things and then you can determine other things. It's the most flexible way to use your camera. A lot of beginners might be a little overwhelmed, like I mentioned before, jumping into manual mode and thinking, your camera sucks or your lens suck because you're not getting the desired results you want, or maybe you think that you suck as a photographer. It's a lot to learn at first. If you don't understand the exposure triangle, ISO, shutter speed, and aperture, it could be, kind of difficult to get your head around what you need to do. My suggestion is, like I said before, either start in aperture priority mode, or you can start in like a fully automatic mode. You can cheat a little bit, take a photo, see what settings the camera chose for you, literally just switch your dial to manual mode, do those same exact settings that the auto mode did, take the same picture from the same point of view, and see how it comes out. It should be very similar to what the auto mode just did, and then you can kind of adjust from there and see how the photo or how the light is changing, and you have a starting base to start from. Now you have successfully taken a photo in manual mode, and look at that, you're off and learning. Then maybe you can change some things. Say, hey, I want to make it brighter. What do I do? Oh, I can, slow the shutter speed down a little bit. It's just, you have to play with things. The next mode is MR, or memory recall. I've never really used this mode, but it actually is really helpful, and maybe it's helpful for beginners. Memory recall allows you to save 3 different kind of preset configurations that are in the memory recall section. And it's actually pretty simple how you save each page. So you hit the menu button, you go to tab 1, which is the camera icon, then you go to page 7, and then you hit the center button on memory, and then you choose either 1, 2, or 3, hit the center button again, and save it to the recording slot. So let's just say you're in manual mode, you got things dialed in for astrophotography, and this is kind of your bread and butter settings and everything. You can go in the menu, go to tab 1, the camera, page 7, go down to memory, and then pick 1, 2, or 3, hit the center button, and boom, now you have an astrophotography kind of preset, pre-configured memory setting for the next time you're out there taking astro shots. It might not be something that you use all the time, but it could be something that you save for specific photography like astrophotography or portraits or whatever. And last but not least is not photography related, but video related, is movie mode. There's a dedicated movie recording button on the a6000, which is on the side, and you hit that and you could start recording in any mode, whether you're in aperture priority, shutter priority, manual, whichever mode you're in, you can actually just hit the button and record in that mode. Or you can go to movie mode and start recording from there. So those are the 10 modes on the Sony a6000. I hope you guys learned a little bit or just, liked the video in general. And I really appreciate you guys sticking with me to the end if you made it this far. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to Skillshare for the sponsorship. And if you guys have any other ideas about some beginner kind of photography videos that you want to see from me, let me know down in the comments. You guys know I will be all up in the comments talking to you guys. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode. Later. Another one in the books. Another one in the books. Another one in the books. Should I record another video? I'm tired. Oh, this is a puggle. I'm on schedule, Mr. Producer. We're filming now. Sound check. 1, 2. Check, check. 1, 2. Yeah, sniff that. Uh-huh. Everything's good. Shot's good. Lighting's good. Everything's good. Mwah. All right. Back to filming.